Greetings and welcome to Experience the Rebirth of you. And I'm one of your co-hosts today, Erbie Phillips Jr., a.k.a. your honorable servant, joined by Brother Dwayne Mooney, the king of passive income. It is Tuesday, August 22nd, 2017. The time is 10:06 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we are live. And we are very privileged, proud, and humbled to bring to you today a tribute to one of the greatest Americans of all time, Baba Dick Gregory. We're honoring him today not just because he deserves it. We don't have enough hours in a day to broadcast what he deserves. But we are broadcasting today because we need to hear from you. We want to share with you stories about Dick Gregory, our beloved elder who has made his transition from this earthly journey into eternity. We want to share stories and insights about him that are not being published in the media. And also there are some things in the media that we want to correct. Because although we appreciate the front cover feature in the LA Times of Baba Dick Gregory and 2 pages of narrative on him, we want to make sure that you really know that you know that you know. If you didn't have an opportunity to spend intimate moments with Elder Dick Gregory, we're going to give you some of that today. All right? Is that okay with you? And before we get into the discussion, I want you to know that our brother, Dr. Christian Gregory, one of Baba Dick's 10 children, he has sent out an email with details about the memorial service, and I can tell you this. From what I read, it's going to be a wonderful memorial service. So those of you who are thinking about going to D.C. to pay your respects in that way, let us know here on LIB Radio, and we can forward you the link to the website where you can get details about the memorial service, the date, and the events and everything else. But it's going to be a grand, grand celebration, as it should be in transition. We should celebrate transition to eternity. We shouldn't be sad. We shouldn't be down and out, especially when it comes to someone like Baba Dick Gregory. Brother Dwayne, are you with us right now? Brother Dwayne Mooney is not with us right now.
Hey, Kelly, how you doing? Right, my St. Louis people in the house.
Brother Dwayne, what's going on, my brother?
And everything. Life is good, brother. Life is good. I was on my Dick Gregory interview tour yesterday. I did about 4 interviews yesterday.
Tell us about them, brother. Tell us all about them. Come on, give us a brief.
Well, it was great. Hey, Rachel, how you doing? It was great because I had a lot of fun. I was on, I did Front Page. I did the Zoe Williams show. I did Carl Nelson's show. And it was funny because Carl Nelson's show, it was right after Farrakhan had spoke, about 2 people after Farrakhan. So, you know,
wow.
I was in the company. And then I did a interview for the Final Call. And
wow.
That was great. So Dick Gregory's going to be on the cover of the new Final Call coming out this week.
Wow. Wow. People need to understand, Dwayne, and Brother Keidi, he's going to join us in this tribute today. And I think, we're going to be tributing the rest of the week, here on Experience the Rebirth, because there's so many people who have so many things they want to share and hear about Baba Dick Gregory. But since Tuesdays is Passive Income Tuesday, do you have a special story that relates to Baba Gregory and your mission to bring this information about passive income to people, his wisdom?
Well, first of all, I'm going to drink my water in tribute to Dick Gregory. Hold on.
That's right. Brother Dick always talked about hydration.
So I'm a pour libation with water for Brother Dick. That's for the man. So
there you go.
The whole thing with Dick Gregory, I got so many stories with Dick. It's just crazy. First of all, if you're gonna be around him, be ready not to eat. That's the first thing. If you're hungry, you ain't gonna hang with Dick, because Dick is constantly moving and talking and doing his thing. Yeah, pour out that water. And Dick was always my main story with Dick. You know, I went to see Dick Gregory with Daryl and I took him to go see Queen Afua. She was having a private party, and he really didn't know much of Queen Afua, and she was having a private party, and her husband at the time had these big giant aunts carrying around, in each hand they were gold. And Dick Gregory looked at me and said, "Who's that Negro with them giant railroad keys?" He said, "Railroad keys." We laughed the whole night. And I told Queen Afua what he said. She cracked up. So Dick Gregory is just a dude that was just incredible. You know, everybody knows that, you know, our real father is Paul Mooney, but as Paul Mooney would always say, I'm not their father. Their real father is Dick Gregory. And the only reason why, because Dick had that thing that Daryl and I gravitated to. As soon as we got around Dick Gregory, our beards just popped out. We were clean shaven. We got around them, beards just popped out. And we introduced Dick Gregory to our father. Daryl and I met Dick Gregory at the Comedy Store. He was performing. He just got off he was fasting. He was doing some protest in Washington at the time. This was over 30 years ago. And he's talking to a group of maybe about 50 people in the audience, mostly white. And he was in the club with juices served only. How you going to be in a night? I said, what kind of black man is this that can be in a nightclub with juices served only in the 2-drink minimum nightclub when that's how they make their money?
That's right, brother.
So Dick Gregory sitting down in the chair. He's all slim because he's on a fast, and he has notes. He's actually telling his jokes from notes. I said, what kind of man, black man, doing a show, ain't doing no cooning, just sitting in the chair, talking and using notes? And these white folks are like holding on to every word he's saying, looking at him like he's a messiah. Because remember, I don't know who this dude is. So right. I said, I got to meet this guy. Because all I saw was my father perform, and white folks would be looking at him in the Comedy Store like with disgust. He would make them laugh. He would run white folks out of the club. I said, who is this man that white folks just love every word he said? So we talked to Dick off stage, and he's telling us, and we're meeting him and introducing us, and we're introducing ourselves, and we asking him who is he? And he's giving us a little background on who he is. And then he says, you two need to come see me speak in San Francisco at the Whole Life Expo, which was a big health convention. I said, okay, we're going to fly up and go check you out. Because, you know, we're from Oakland anyway. So we go up to see him, and it's about 2,000 people of all colors watching this man. We come in, we think we're going to see 50 white folks again, right? This is a small group. But it's 2,000 people sitting up there looking at Dick, and I'm looking at this same black dude I saw on stage, looked like he didn't have no energy. just barely talking to people in the club, reading notes. Then the next time we see him, he's on stage, moving all over the stage with a mic, talking loud, shouting, being angry, being funny, being low-key, praising people, bringing people on stage, just talking about health, nutrition, conspiracy, who you are, pointing his finger at the crowd, just being just all bodacious. I'm like, we look at this brother, same brother we saw in the club, and said, that's what we want to do.
That's right.
Right? And because of that, that's when we became comedians and lecturers and started using our gift more than just stand-up comedy, but for a reason and for a purpose. That's what Dick Gregory did to us, and we just fell in love with that man, and we became good friends with him until this day. Even now in spirit, we're tight. 2 weeks ago, Dick Gregory was here. He stayed over here, where I am, for a night.
Yes. Yes.
And so Dick Gregory was, he's gotten old. He's full of life. He still was full of life, full of energy, telling jokes, right? And this is early in the morning, telling jokes, just doing his Dick Gregory thing. But I had to help him down the steps, right? I said, wow. I said, Dick Gregory, in my mind, I said, Dick Gregory is just about to get out of here, this life.
Okay.
I said, me and Mark, Mark Gallardo, Mark always told me, he said, you don't know if he's going to live, he's going to make it to the years out. And then when I saw him, I said, it may be sooner than that. This is Dick Gregory's last days on this planet, physically. And then 2 weeks later, he passed. So I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked. But again, it's not that people always say, telling me, Dick Gregory was in the health. How he died at 85. I said, first of all, Dick Gregory, the type of life he led, total nonstop. I don't care what type of diet you're on. He should have been dead at 40.
Tell it, brother.
He don't get no sleep. He's always on planes. He's always speaking. He's always with the people. Now he's performing. He was performing. It's like, again, which was a perfect way for him to go out, doing what he loved. So my thing is, for him to reach 85, basically in no pain, and just pass smoothly, he wasn't sick, he wasn't coughing up and ill, he just passed, man. His body just expired, man. Literally.
Brother Dwayne, I'm gonna bring Brother Keidi into the discussion right now to emphasize what you just said about Baba Gregory's, the way he lived life, and how he was so busy, and how, from a scientific perspective, Keidi's scientific research, how old he probably really was based upon all the activities. Because here is a man, too, that lost over 150 pounds. He used to smoke. He used to drink. He used to do all those kind of things. So he overcame all of that, and still at the age of 84, had the energy to do the things that he did. Brother Keidi, your comments on the mileage that was on Baba Gregory's body, and how anyone could say to him, I thought he was into wellness, and he died at 84, when black men are dying on average at the age of 55 to 60, I believe.
Thank you, Brother Erbie, for the invitation to speak on this great man who walked in our midst. And Brother Dwayne, I salute you for the countless experiences and hours that you spent in the presence of this living master. And you wear it well. You stand on the shoulders of this giant and so many others. And this is very important to us all. But when we look at the age of 85 for the transition of Dick Gregory, and people who know my research say that we should really be striving for 120. as you point out correctly, Brother Erbie, during Dick Gregory's genetic young years, he, like far too many of us, are caught up in the Babylonian ways of living. We eat the wrong food. We eat like Americans. And Dick Gregory admitted that until he had met Alvenia Fulton, he didn't really know how to eat to live for true. Enough respect to Elijah Muhammad also for putting out that book, because between people like Alvenia and Elijah Muhammad, we did learn that there was a better way for us. But Dick Gregory stressed his body probably for about a half of his adult life. But here's the thing. Had Dick Gregory stayed in those patterns of toxicity toward his body, he wouldn't have made 85 years. He would have died probably younger than the average black male in America, dying at 69, because he was on an even higher stress. Dick Gregory used to talk, Brother Dwayne, about drinking a fifth of whiskey every day or so. But because he did learn, he extended his life. And when we talk about wisdom, I dare anybody to challenge me that wisdom-wise, Dick Gregory lived to be 120 years old.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure.
You know, I always say that Dick lived the life of 5 men.
That's right.
That's right.
And if you've ever been around him, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Brother Keidi and Brother Dwayne, you both are entrepreneurs. You both have a long history of entrepreneurship, but not many people know Dick Gregory as the entrepreneur. Brother Dwayne, there was an article published in one of the mainstream medias, and it mentioned the situation with Baba Gregory and that Swedish company, but they didn't tell it. They didn't really get into detail. Can you explain to all of us what happened? How did that Swedish company deal start? How did it end? And what came afterwards?
Well, let me tell you what happened with that Swedish company, Cernitine America, that came out with the Bahamian diet. First of all, Dr. David Allen was the president of the company. That's a light-skinned brother out of San Diego, married to a Jewish woman, who's more blacker than David Allen. Okay. Now, Dr. David Allen is literally the George Washington Carver of nutrition. Baddest dude on the planet toward putting nutrition together. And the Chinese has made him a millionaire many times over because they take his products and sell it all over the world. They treat him like a king, like a god in China. Now, he got a big home in San Diego, lives like he's a millionaire. He was the president of the company. He really is the creator of the Bahamian diet. He put the 4X formula, which is Dick Gregory's formula, herbal formula, into the Bahamian diet, right, which was a powder with a soy base. Of course, we have learned that soy base is not good, so right now, if it was created again, it would be with another base. Now, but at the time, it was a top nutritious product. And the Bahamian diet, when he brought Dick Gregory into the company and the Bahamian diet, the company took off. Remember, these are Sweden folks who own the company. The company off. Black folks all around the world started joining because of Dick Gregory. Now, too many black folks was coming to the meeting, joining up, started making the Swedes nervous. There's too many black folks. And we was killing it, right? Because Del and I was some of the top distributors in the company. We were killing it. But you know Dick Gregory, when Dick Gregory talks, he talk about everything but the company. Dick Gregory going to talk about what's going on in the world and will mention nutrition in the company along the way. So you know the Swedes didn't like that.
Right.
They got rid of, interesting, they fired David Allen first. This didn't make no sense. I guess they fired him for bringing in Dick Gregory. Then they fired Dick Gregory, right? Or Dick Gregory left, one of the two. Whatever happened, it was a parting of the ways. And then Dick Gregory started his own company called the Correction Connection. David Allen still making products, but they made another product called Correction Connection that dealt with any addiction that anybody would have, it would get rid of, from coffee to sugar to crack cocaine. Anything would leave the addiction. So he had the Bahamian diet and the Correction Connection. The Correction Connection was in the powder form too. The Correction Connection company went off the roof. Now remember, the brother, Ken Bridges, who was the CEO and creator of MyTop, which was the black-owned network marketing company for black only that he created later. He was the vice president of Correction Connection. Okay, that's how far back I go with Ken Bridges. Ken Bridges is the one who was assassinated by the so-called sniper. So, Ken Bridges was the vice president. It was another brother that was the president. I can't think of his name right now. But it was, black men and women running the company. It ran for a while, but as Keidi knows, Dick Gregory is not a serious businessman. Dick Gregory is going to do what he want to do when he want to do it. So he came at odds with the business of Correction Connection. So the business people had to have Dick Gregory sign contracts that Dick Gregory didn't know he was signing, so Dick Gregory wouldn't spend all the money. Because Dick Gregory was buying people homes, doing all kind of stuff, running around, had his oasis with the fat dude, and, that stuff costs money, right? The retreat that he had, all that stuff costs money. And Dick Gregory was doing stunts and living large. This was Dick Gregory at his wealthiest doing his thing. The company was making big money, millions of dollars. And you can't tell Dick Gregory what he can and cannot do. So they fell out with Dick Gregory and end up suing Dick Gregory. Okay? So this stayed in court for 3 years, and guess what? The company went bankrupt. So whatever they was trying to sue, they won. I think Dick Gregory ended up winning, but there was no money there. Okay? Dick Gregory won the suit. And in the long run, Dick Gregory at the time was losing his house. So he had to sell the rights to the Bahamian diet, right, to GNC. That's why if you go into GNC, you'll see the Bahamian diet in there. But guess what? Dick Gregory don't talk about the Bahamian diet because he sold the rights to it so he could live, right, comfortably. But that's why he don't never talk about the Bahamian diet. If you talk about the Bahamian diet, you bring it up, you're going to have an attitude. So the company at the top level, if they only could have worked it out, I always say if Dick Gregory would have been more of a businessman. And that's not hating on Dick. And the other side would have been more lenient because they should have known who they was dealing with.
Right.
You can't fit a circle into a square. You got to know how to deal with Dick Gregory. Okay? So, that's what happened. And black folks was making money with Correction Connection. Okay? Because it was the first since Madam C.J. Walker serious network marketing company that black folks could get into, that we own. We were open to everybody and run the races for real. And Dick Gregory had contact with political people, with business people, so everybody was getting involved. And then he had Dr. David Allen making the products, so it was the best products in the world at the time behind it, So we was rolling. And Dick Gregory, his company, was pushing nutrition, pushing business hard, okay? When he had his company, he was up there. He had a card that he would pass out that was a food combining card and had information on food combining. And he would speak, man, and he would talk about nutrition. He would talk about the matrix, but he would talk about his answer was nutrition and work the business. So this was the part that left a serious imprint on my psyche because who he was at the time. He was at his strongest. He had an organization. He was making money through the organization, and he was helping people make money, and he was helping people lose weight, and he was helping people get healthy. I mean, the image of Correction Connection and the image of the Bahamian diet was a sister coming out the ground, basically a tree, but it looked like a black woman. So you would see the roots and the trees and this beautiful body with natural hair of a black woman coming out the ground saying the black woman is Mother Nature herself. Okay, that was the image. And Dick Gregory understood the power of image. So black women came into the correction connection like crazy. Okay? And this would always stick to me to see black folk running an organization, running a company, black folk getting involved, making money in a network marketing effort, everybody getting paid, everybody getting healthy. Look, you know where our first conference was, man?
Where?
You know, it was the Bahamian diet, you can guess, right? In the Bahamas.
In the Bahamas. Oh, brother,
what other company, they want to go to Hawaii. They want to go everywhere other than where black folks was going. We went to the Bahamas. Okay?
Hold that thought, brother. We have a caller. Caller, give us your name and tell us where you're calling from and what do you want to contribute today.
Hi, it's Cindy calling from Gladstone, Oregon, and I would just like to say that I'm so glad that Dick Gregory took Dwayne and Daryl Mooney, and he was their mentor, and they are going to continue on with his legacy and what he was doing to help others. Regardless of the ethnicity, regardless of anything else, he wanted people healthy in life. And I believe that was his legacy, and I believe that through EPX Body and through Dwayne and Daryl and you, Erbie, and Keidi and everybody, that his legacy will live on. And I just want to say I appreciated his life and what he meant to everyone. And thank you guys for doing this program about him today.
All right, Cindy. Dwayne, you have a follow-up comment for Cindy?
Yeah, thank you very much, Cindy. And that's what Dick Gregory is about, is about, helping humanity. And one of the main things he always said was, you make a difference. You make a difference. So, this is what he was about. 100% of the time, he sacrifices family, he sacrifices Hollywood livelihood to get out there and make a difference. But Dick, one thing always understood, when he quit Hollywood, he just didn't quit Hollywood, he had a plan. When he quit Hollywood, he came out with his nutrition book. Keidi, what was the name of his book?
Food for people who love to eat. And I know that was a subtitle.
Yeah, it was like Mother Nature's Diet for Folks Who Eat. I forgot the name of it.
I'll push that link up on the social media page.
Yeah, but the whole point is he came out with that book when he retired from nightclub. Okay, so what did that do? He had a nutrition book. So he understood that just because I quit comedy, I still got to have money coming in. And that's why he came out with the book to set himself up in position to be the health guru, which set himself up in position to be wanted by a network marketing company for him to put out a product.
And that book
set himself in position to put out what Mother Nature for folks who eat. Mother, go ahead. What is
the title of the book, Dick Gregory's Natural Diet for Folks Who Eat, Cooking with Mother Nature. And it is available, used for only $130.
Oh, shit. Wow.
I wonder if that place has exploded because of his transition.
No, that means it's been out of
last week.
It means it's been out of print for some time. Probably a good opportunity for some entrepreneurs to work with the family to re-release this critical book.
Yeah, and update it, like with Keidi's information on it, because the book needs to be updated.
Yes. Well, there's tons of opportunity. I mean, and one of the things that I think what we do here, because here on Experience Rebirth, we talk about not only wellness, but we talk about prosperity, and prosperity in the realm of economic development, financial growth, passive income, those kind of things. Brother Keidi, your opinion, listening to Brother Dwayne talk about Baba Gregory's legacy with respect to business, especially how he made that transition from being touring as a comedian to touring as a wellness guru, and your concepts in the repairing, calling for us to look at investing in land on the continent of Africa and growing crops, and then taking those crops and turning them into commercial food and wellness products. Isn't that a part, or do you believe that that's a part of the Baba Gregory wellness that we now have an obligation to keep alive and to push forward?
Good point that you make. We best honor these ones who trod this road before us by building tangibilities upon their memories. As much as we protested and grieved about Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown and so many others who lost their lives to police brutality, we have not built an institute that can properly prepare and train the young generation to stay out of the crosshairs of a brutal, homicidal law enforcement structure. And hence, the killings keep going. So when we build upon the memories of Baba Dick Gregory, Dr. Sebi, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and so many others, we got to make sure that we're not just building ethereal, metaphysical structures, basically verbiage with no real tangibilities about it. And Dwayne Mooney, I know you and your brother, that other guy who tries to look like you a lot, Daryl is his name. You are in a wonderful position to be able to take this baton directly from the hand of this powerful Baba and move forward. I'm glad to be that third Mooney twin who you're going to call in reserve when you need me. And let's build something solid, something with doors on it that we have to turn the alarm on at night when we leave in the name of Baba Dick Gregory. I'm sure his family would be honored to see the larger community step up and make his memory permanent and transformative.
What you said is absolutely correct, man. That metaphysical, that gives you the mindset, but somebody got to do the work. And we got to be hands-on, and we have to build a foundation. That's one thing, when I was doing the interview in the final call yesterday, I was talking to Salim Muhammad. I said the difference is because, Dick Gregory and Farrakhan are the same age. And I said the difference between Dick Gregory and Farrakhan is Farrakhan. So Farrakhan is well taken care of. And I told him, I want to be well taken care of. Like when I'm 84, 85, I want to be taken care of like Farrakhan. And I don't want to be out there the lone wolf like Dick Gregory. right? So you bring in the meaning, you connect the dots with what you just said. How do we build the legacy where we build an institution, a foundation that we can all take care of ourselves and actually take care of others, but where the foundation is self-sufficient, where it's making money, it has everything that everyone needs toward information on health, toward gardening, toward information on prosperity, toward information on what the matrix is doing, where it's an institute that creates business, it's an incubation center that creates business, it creates skills where people can move forward and change the quality of their lives on a daily basis while they maneuver through the matrix. Because one thing Dick Gregory did, I always asked Dick, and he couldn't answer me. He never could answer me. I would say, Dick, yeah, it's a conspiracy, and I always say this to all black leaders that I deal with who's talking. I said, Dick, you talk about what's going on in the world, but you never talk about how well you're doing. I said, your family is doing well. Your children are doing well, living middle-class lives. They're not suffering. Your wife doesn't have to work a day in her life. How come you never teach that? You're always wearing $2,000 suits, always got new shoes on, fly first class, people love you. How come you don't never teach that? And he looked at me and said, that ain't my job, N-word. That's your job. That's your job.
That is instruction, isn't it?
It is instruction.
Exactly. Don't be telling me what I should be doing. I was marked, then I got to hear the history for the next hour and be cussed out for the next hour after that. And then I said, and then he's making me laugh the whole time. I'm cracking up off of him. I'm literally cracking up off of him. Talking about me. I'm crying, you and your brother, you looking like MS, going on. Just going on. And I'm like, but bottom line, he said, that's your job. I done did my job. Right? So,
well, we know, Brother Dwayne and Brother Keidi, we know. Brother Dwayne, you have been giving the message directly from Baba Dick Gregory, what our job is. And we are listening to you. You understand that. You understand that when we put this thing together, it's going to be a combination of what we have right now, but we're going to make it bigger and better. Well, we have the nutritional side of it, because we need people to be healthy and to live long, and there's money to be made by helping people get healthy. You understand the side of it. Once you make more money, you need to put your money into something that's going to grow and not go away. You understand passive income and the investment part of it. We have Brother Keidi already with the research and the writing abilities to update and revise that wonderful book written by Baba Gregory. We also have Dr. Christian Gregory, who is receiving that baton. In the first hour, Brother Keidi talked about passing the baton. The baton has been passed to Dr. Christian Gregory. We know Brother Dr. Christian Gregory. We know his heart. We know he's ready. He's fired up and ready to push this thing to a different level. He's a different type of businessman than his father was. So now is the time for us to create that institution that will benefit all of humanity, and as a result of it, people like Zuckerberg and Gates to shame when it comes to the hundreds of billions of dollars this institution can earn. Am I insane?
No, you're right on point, and this is deep what you just said. Christian Gregory, he watched his father. He watched when you're up close, it's like my father's Paul Mooney. when you're up close and you see the suffering and what they go through, that's the last thing you want to do is go through what they go through.
Yes.
I mean, because you sitting up there living a good life, middle class, but yet going through so much mess. So I'm like, the children be like, I ain't going through that. The people can get off in that, but I know the real Dick Gregory. I know the real Paul Mooney. They like nice stuff, right? They live large. And you're in that energy. You want to live your large too. And you don't want to go through what they go through because you know, bottom line, that's a hard road to travel. So you just said it. And Keidi said something earlier too when he talked about, and you said it too, passing the baton. Let me make this very clear. Can't nobody, when Dick Gregory passed that baton, can't nobody, one individual, carry that baton. That's a heavy baton to carry. So, as he said, and as you said, there's going to be many people that helped carry that baton because Dick Gregory touched so many people. Why Daryl and I got so close to him or why he got so close to us, because he saw us in him. He saw us change and become what, if he taught a class on how to be Dick Gregory, is me and Daryl. The beard,
got you.
The comedy, the lecture. So when I'm sitting down talking to Dick, the only way you get a word in is make him laugh. Now, Daryl and I are the best at it. Paul Mooney. So we can make Dick laugh. Dick is stolen or taking many jokes from us and put it on stage. So we can make him laugh in the midst of him going off. If you ever see me interview Dick, I know how to interview him, right? I know how to get Dick to talk about anything I want him to talk about, where most people don't know how to do that. Dick Gregory will go on a tangent and talk about everything he wants to talk about. But I know how to get Dick to talk about what I want him to talk about when I interview him because I make him laugh. And when you make him laugh, you break his pattern. And he's going to get to wherever you want to go. So that's the key. When you're dealing with Dick, make him laugh to break his pattern so you can bring him along to what you want him to talk about rather than debate and argue with him, because you ain't going to win a debate and argument with him. He's got too much information.
Well, today's discussions, we're talking about the legacy of our great elder, Father Dick Gregory, and we are specifically discussing how we, Brother Dwayne Mooney, Brother Keidi Awadu, Brother Erbie Phillips, are formulating this next movement to keep the business legacy of Baba Gregory alive. We're hearing about his social activism and the march in the civil rights. We've heard him talk about his comedian and breaking through and with Jack Parr and everything else that he did. We heard about the Bahamian weight loss diet and the correction connection and all of that. And we heard what Dick Gregory said specifically to Brother Dwayne Mooney. It's your job. It's your job to do the business thing. It's your job. So that's what we're going to do. Brother Keidi, how does what the legacy and the progress and the creation of Baba Dick Gregory, specifically, I can't get this image out of my mind, of the tree of the African woman and the roots with the corrective connection to Bahamian weight loss diet, how does that fit into your research and your writings about the repairing?
Well, that's a great question, very challenging question. I think that the bottom line here must be sustainable development, progress, based upon the true scope of skills and talents and resources that are in our hands. If we are spending $1.3 trillion but only producing $187 billion, that shows you a deficit. We're spending $7 while producing $1. if we look at the larger nation, for every dollar that Americans spend, we get the chance to spend 60 cents. So even as consumers, we're in another conundrum. So it's got to be about sustainable development. There can be no denying that Dick Gregory represents a holistic brand. Are we wise enough to receive that baton from his hand and take this holistic brand and compel it to become intergenerational, sustainable development? I think that's our real challenge. It's not going to be easy, but I bet you we could put a half a dozen or more people around a board table, meeting for 1 to 2 to maybe 8 hours a day, and take this holistic brand represented by this holistic human being, Dick Gregory, and make it permanent, make it transformative, and make it elevate intergenerational wealth for our community. Dick Gregory would be very pleased, and I think he would be smiling on our efforts from beyond the veil that separates us from our living ancestors.
You know, Brother Keidi and Brother Dwayne, here's my next question. Brother Keidi just said African Americans spend about $1 trillion, a little over $1 trillion a year on consumer goods. We know that globally there's tens and tens of trillions of dollars spent by consumers. We also know that the Dick Gregory brand is worldwide, that people all around the world recognize and respect Dick Gregory as a wellness guru. Brother Dwayne Mooney, what evidence have you seen that Dick Gregory, that supports the idea that Dick Gregory's brand name and respect as a guru is worldwide?
Well, whatever, I've been with Dick in a lot of places, man. Dick Gregory and I and Daryl, we've been on the road together, doing comedy, doing stand-up comedy in theaters. We've been with them speaking, to people in prison. We've been with them on lecture tours and just hanging out with him. If he's in town, we'll hang out, we'll drive him around, all kind of stuff. And people love Dick Gregory. When Dick comes to L.A., he stays with a big-time white producer in Hollywood, in a mansion in Beverly Hills. He stays in the back house. He used to be his writer a long time ago. And I think the white guy started off as his driver. I can't think of his name, but it's like big time. I think it's the dude who wrote All in the Family.
Okay.
Yeah, that I can't think of his name.
Not Norman Lear you're talking about.
Well, and he knows people with a lot of money. And he has went through a lot of money. But, so he's loved. And everybody always asks, what can I do to be healthy? He worked with Muhammad Ali. He worked with Benoit Benjamin. I was there. I was with him when he was working with Benoit Benjamin, who used to play for the L.A. Clippers to lose some weight and get healthier. He worked with Muhammad Ali on one of his fights to lose weight. So Dick Gregory he's worked with Michael Jackson. He's worked with, Norman Lear. Yeah, thank you, Lou. Norman Lear. Norman Lear is the dude he lives with when he comes to L.A. Got a big old mansion and stays in the back house. Dick Gregory lives like a king. And Norman Lear used to work for Dick Gregory. So they're friends. So people all around the world trusted Dick on nutrition advice and what he would tell them. So, I mean, even before he passed, he was met with the little young brother who was hosting that, who does Wild Out. What's his name?
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. He was going to see Nick Cannon because Nick Cannon suffers from lupus, telling them how to deal with it, giving them herbs and all that kind of stuff. And now, Nick Cannon is more into nutrition and taking care of his health. and dealing with his lupus naturally. If you notice, he looks much better than he used to be. And, of course, he's still in that consciousness because of him hanging with Dick Gregory. Now, when he was there to see Nick Cannon, guess who came by? Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart got to meet Dick Gregory. So, and learn from the master. So let's see how Kevin's whole thing will change. Because, you know, Kevin is very much into health. Kevin is on the cover of Fitness Magazine, was on the cover of Fitness Magazine. I think he has a water coming out, or it's already out, or whatever, natural water. But Kevin is very much into nutrition. So Dick Gregory just has a way of you getting the part of Dick Gregory that you need. You know, Dick Gregory was a heavy conspiracy theorist. And that's the part that always challenged me because he was so into it. So I had to keep my distance from Dick Gregory because I'm not so much in the conspiracy theory where you cannot control and create your life. I always looked at that part of Dick. So the conspiracy thing, I could only listen to it for so much, even though I knew it was real. I wasn't afraid of it. It's just that I got stuff to do. Okay? And I understood that Dick Gregory worked reverse because, as Keidi said, we stand on the shoulders and take it to another level. Dick Gregory dealt with the conspiracy, but yet he dealt with the metaphysics and the empowerment. Why do you think somebody like Dick Gregory never had to have a bodyguard? Why do you think he said, if your God is more powerful than my God, then I'm praying to the wrong God?
Wow.
He never he said fear and the Bible can't occupy the same space.
Wow.
My point is, how do you not be metaphysical and understand the laws of the universe and walk the way he walked and travel the way he traveled? He had a Mother Teresa vibe to him. So understanding the real him, sitting up here and talking to him doing this move, you know, the pyramid move, when anything is negative around him and all of a sudden things change, energy changes. He understood energy. He understood vortex. He understood metaphysics. He understood affirming your greatness. He understood all of that. So he understood prayer. So I started getting into more of that of what Dick was about. Then I understood, for me, how to properly, Mark Galato, but this breakfast with Dick Gregory this morning, he had green juice with Dick Gregory. Hilarious. So, I'm going to tell you how deep it was. I'm in the car with Mark Galato, right, after Dick passed, and we're affirming, you know, our vision and our greatness, and he said, we need a sign from Dick Gregory. So we go to we're getting ready to go into the restaurant. It's a black bird sitting up on the wire by itself. As soon as we pass, it starts talking, man, to us. And the bird, it sounds like the bird is going like this. Huh, 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 huh. And me and Mark are dying. I said, that's the sign. That's Dick Gregory. You hear me? A black bird sit by itself. Huh? 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 I was cracking up. So Dick Gregory was into all that type of energy. So we understand that people say, you know, Dwayne, people, I feel sorry for your loss. You know, are you okay? You know, my thing with death, you know, look, we all have the same thing in common, is we're born, we are born and we die.
That's
Dying is part of it. Only people who worry about death, who are afraid of death, are not living.
Yes.
Dick Gregory wasn't afraid of death. He was the same person. The last minute, he was, even when he was ill, you know what he told me? When I was walking him down the steps, he sat up there and told me, because, you know, I'm walking him down, he said, man, you know, my body's giving out on me. And he's telling me that, you know, they found out that in the back of my head is something there that happened when he had a sinus problem when he was 12 that's making his body break down. Right? Making his body break down. And that affects his brain, but yet, you know, I don't have no pain. I feel good. I got my energy, but my body's just breaking down. And I'm like, he's still, to his last day, man, figuring out what's wrong with him and living life on his purpose. Never feeling sorry for himself. Still telling jokes. Still telling me about wild conspiracies. The last thing he said to me was, Dwayne, because when I'm walking him, right, he looks at me and said, you're getting taller. I said, you're getting taller? How you getting taller and you're 59 years old? What the heck you doing? How you getting taller? And I said, well, brother, I said, I told you before I have multiple women. And I don't lie and I don't cheat. And I said, that has strengthened my testosterone. And not only have I grown in height, I said, but some other things have grown too. And he looked at me and he said, N-word, you crazy.
Well, you know,
that was our party.
Brother Dwayne, we're almost out of time. We're going to let Brother Keidi share his last words, and then we'll come to you for your last words and how people can contact you. Brother Keidi, your last words on this conversation?
Thank you for the opportunity to share and join in this conversation. A great one walked amongst us. Baba Dick Gregory made it so easy to be close to him, to enjoy his bited comedy and everything, his pointed perspectives. I think that some of the times Baba Dick Gregory was testing us to see if we were really paying attention and if we fact-checked. Because sometimes he would say some things with his absolute dead serious face, and I was saying to myself, this man is roaring, laughing inside because nobody in the room gets what he's really saying. So thank you, Brother Erbie, for creating this moment to give tribute to such a great man. Thank you, Brother Dwayne, for sharing your incredible spectrum of insights to Baba Dick Gregory that most people would never have known. And let's commit to building something great in his name. I think the family would really be proud of us all pulling together with them to do so.
All right. Thank you, Brother Keidi. Brother Dwayne, your last words?
Well, my last words is this. You know, it's beautiful to walk and be in this man's presence and to learn so much from him that it's been a pleasure. And I want some people to understand that Dick Gregory's spirit lives. He lives in you. He is free. He is free of his physical form. So don't be sad. Rejoice. Tell some jokes. Know that you make a difference. Follow that word. Know that you make a difference. Take care of your health. Take care of your mind. Understand what this matrix is about. And live your life the way Dick Gregory did. Not the way he did, but he lived his life. He lived his purpose. His legacy will live on. What legacy are you building? Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself the question, what legacy are you building? I'm doing the work. My work, I've got my orders. Helping people with self-development and economic empowerment. Dick Gregory did the civil rights and nutrition. I'm doing the civil rights and self-improvement. Let's build something. Let's build a foundation. But first, build yourself. So what you can do, like I love Dick, he knew how to work the media. That's where I learned how to do it. I just do it my way. I remember one time he was sitting out there, we was doing a radio show, and we was doing a radio show together. We were promoting some business, and Dick Gregory was getting paid to do it. And Dick Gregory reached over to me and Daryl and said, "You N-words, stop pushing the company and push you. It's about the Mooney twins. It's about Dick Gregory. The company take a back seat. Companies can come and go, but you got to promote you, and I promote me. And we'll talk about the company, but you give the people information. This is not an infomercial. You give the people information, and you make them come to you and not come to the company." I go, okay. Teach, Baba. So he did that right on the radio show. Took us to the side. So that's the Dick Gregory I know. So let's rejoice, let's build, let's come together, and let's have a purpose for living. Okay, you get in touch with me at www.thewealthportalinc.com, thewealthportalinc.com, and of course on Facebook.
All right, Brother Dwayne. Thank you so much for doing a wonderful job today in helping us to give tribute to the great Baba Dick Gregory. I'll talk to you soon, my brother. You're a warrior, you're a soldier, you are a king.
Peace and prosperity. See you soon, brother.
All right, brother. All right, family, this has been Experience the Rebirth. The rebirth is you. And you know what? We are not going to let you off the hook, family, because what we talked about with Brother Dwayne and Brother Keidi about putting something together is already here.
That's right.
We already have the EPA Body Dick Gregory brand, and we're getting ready to make things bigger and better. You just need to get on board. We are keeping Baba Dick Gregory's legacy alive through the Living Superfood Recipe Book, Living Superfood Longevity, EPX Body Dick Gregory, the Wealth Portal. We're keeping it alive. EPX 180. We're keeping it alive. Join us on this journey to greatness. Peace and prosperity. Alabama,